Hi Kiba folks, I'm Pete58 with Shadow the Hedgehog, and it's time for more Is It Real? This is episode 16, and this episode we're going to talk about someone called Jeff the Killer. A kind of scary urban legend that's some people say is probably the equivalent of Caledon 21. I don't think it was scary. And I'm going to get down to whether or not it was real, because a lot of people, they seem to believe that this was an actual thing that happened, that there was a young man named Jeff and who became a serial killer. And we're going to sit and I'm going to tell you my research about it. Now, this is, it was pretty straightforward investigation, and it wasn't very hard to find out whether or not it was true, but I'm going to go through you with everything I found. Now, the original Jeff the Killer thing, I guess, before the story, there was a picture uploaded by a guy. His name on YouTube was Susur. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, but he went to a website called newgrounds.com. I have been there. It's an odd site, just a lot of, it seemed like a lot of parody videos, or just, videos in general, nothing different than YouTube. I guess this was just more of a, a centralized kind of place, but you can go there. It's still up. Not any real particular videos, but just random stuff, it seemed like. But anyway, under his account name of Killer Jeff, he posted an image of Jeff the Killer with the info tab claiming that he found the image on his external drive, and it also included a ghost game, like what this was supposed to, what Jeff the Killer was supposed to be, and it's a lot like the Bloody Mary game. You sit in a dark room, and in this instance, a closet, and the lights are off, and then you say, he's here with me like 3 times, and then he appears in your face, jump scare, he does a jump scare kind of thing, and, he'll chant stuff at you, I don't know, like, go fuck yourself or something, I don't know, but, and you have to make him stop, it's, I don't know how, I guess you throw holy water at him, either way, you're going to be stuck with a pretty bad time, he's going to harass you and fuck with you and all that stuff. Now, on August 14th, 2008, Jeff, the Killer Jeff, the account name on newgrounds.com, put up another image with this one stating, "I'm a nice guy." Alright, he's a nice guy. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, he's a nice guy, but obviously he's not, so I don't know how that phrase plays into anything, because it never... I don't know, it didn't really stand out to me as anything other than kind of dumb to say. Now, on September 12th of 2008, Killer Jeff from Newgrounds.com, Susur on YouTube, produced an early Photoshop version of Jeff the Killer. Now, there's an interesting side note about all these images that were uploaded. It was believed that it was a picture of a suicide victim named Katy Robinson. I'm sorry, Katy. Someone who was a victim of suicide because of cyberbullying. Now, the story starts with Katy. She goes on 4chan and posts a picture of herself saying, well, I feel bad, I feel like I'm fat and I'm ugly. And 4chan is not really the place you go looking for sympathy. I mean, you're fucking right. I mean, you go there to, fuck with people. I mean, that's what places like MySpace and Facebook are for, for people to be nice to each other usually. There's still trolls there, but you got, like, something like 4chan, that's not where you go for sympathy. You go there to fuck with people. And that's what this girl did. She went there for sympathy, and apparently the next day, and I've included a link to where you can find it, there's a screenshot of what happened after they had bullied her, and apparently this girl had committed suicide. And there's even a horrible response to this, link or to this picture below, it says, I'm surprised they found a rope strong enough to hold her, because she looked like a heavy girl. You know, I didn't think she was fat, but, you know, that's what everybody was calling her, and she committed suicide, and, you know, I investigated this as much as I could, but I found nothing about a girl or a woman named Katy Robinson who committed suicide after cyberbullying. And, you know, when somebody does that, you know, that shit's all over the news, you know, and there's nothing official about it outside of this 4chan, supposed 4chan thing. I saw only a screenshot. I didn't find it on 4chan. It was just, I found it through another link, which I included links to everything and directly to where I found it. But there was another YouTuber called Kryalis. I included a link to his channel, and he's done a couple videos as well. He's investigated Jeff the Killer. He did it pretty thoroughly. I don't know, I wanted to do one myself, and his work was really good. You should check out his channel. He did a couple of videos questioning, you know, whether or not this Katy Robinson was real. But he had about as much luck as I did, which was none. You know, there's no Katy Robinson. Nobody committed suicide because of a 4chan post. It's just you know, a work of fiction. Even the original creators who saw had disputed that, and even though Kryalis didn't believe him, in the end he did, you know, accept that as the true story, that there was no suicide. Now, now back to the original video, which was uploaded on October 3rd of 2008. It was called Jeff the Killer. Now that video is no longer up. I can't find the channel of this Susor. Maybe you can find it through some of Kryalis' work. I didn't have enough time to check all his videos because he has quite a few. But Susor and his original video are no longer up. I'm surprised, you know, he didn't re-up it at some point in time. There is one or two videos below. I'll tell you about that in a moment as well. But it was on October 3rd that this video was originally uploaded. And it talks about Jeff with his gallon of acid that he was taking to the bathroom to clean out his tub. Yes, some motherfuckers just never heard of spick and span or scrubbing bubbles. That's kind of a dumb origin story, and I'm not trying to knock the guy who did it. It's just, I mean, you know, he slips on a bar of soap. You know, in this country, that's usually the #1 killer. You know, outside of shit you can prevent, like smoking and eating too much. But that's just like, it's not very good. You know, I don't find it, you know, a very good, you know, origin story. You know, I think the one with Katy Robinson, the picture of her was originally thought to be Jeff the Killer, just altered, and you know that would make a better origin story. I'm surprised he didn't try to embrace that, because it was his story. You know, he could have just been like, yeah, okay, even though there's no truth to it. It's not like he'd be really victimizing somebody, but it just seems really odd to me, you know, that he's like, no, I'll go with the bar of soap and the gallon of that. What was he carrying it in a fucking bucket? I mean, Jesus Christ, this shit comes in a bottle if you happen to go to a store to find it. I mean, you know, you can get it, but it's, you know, who fucking carries it like that? But maybe that's what they did. I don't know. I mean, it's not like the story was written 100 years ago. And even back in the day, they used vinegar. You know, and that's got some acid in it, but that shit ain't gonna burn you and just give you a heartburn. You know, at worst. But, you know, this acid, as he's carrying it up the steps, he slips on a bar of soap and it gets on his face, you know. And that's, you know, how he got, you know, all deformed, you know. That was really popular, though, because it was after that, you know, people really got into it, and they started making up their own stories. If you go to creepypasta.com, you can find all kinds of variations on Jeff the Killer. I read one recently. It was actually kind of funny. It involved Chuck Norris. It's a good one. You should check it out. And they're not all funny. Some are, you know, kind of creepy. You know, you just got, you know, there's a whole bunch. It's like, you know, like different stories about the same killer, but there's variations. You know, there's a link I've included below where, you know, it's a Wikipedia, and it tells you, you know, kind of like looking at a character in a video game. It tells you their stats and all that. That's a pretty cool link to check out, and I've included that. Now, the creepypasta that was originally, or not originally, but most popular, was, he didn't, Sassour, the guy who did create Jeff the Killer, he didn't really like it. I thought it was okay. It was just, kind of dumb. There was nothing special about it. They talk about Jeff, who he's a young man or a young adolescent, and for some reason, he wasn't molested by circus folk or beaten by his parents. He keeps going crazy every so often and just kind of fucks people up, and he kills people, and or he does crazy shit. He's just real crazy, and a whole bunch of dumb shit happens. But I'll get to how he gets deformed in the story. He gets into a fight with one of his bullies, someone who harassed him and his oddly named brother Lou, L-I-U. Not L-O-U-I-E or something, just L-I-U, like Liu Kang. That's just odd. I mean, Jeff, that's such an ordinary name, and then he's got a brother named Lou, spelled like L-I-U. Maybe he was an adopted, little Chinese kid, I don't know. Because that's how you spell Lou, if it's a Chinese name, I think, L-I-U. It just seems odd, I mean, we have Jeff the Killer, Jeff the God of Biscuits, Jeff the Killer, and then we got Lou, who spells it completely different, than most people would, and this is his little brother, and but anyway, this guy bullied him and his brother, and so Jeff kills him, and in the act of killing him, one of the bully's friends, he gets burned. And he loses his eyebrows, I guess, get melted off. They fall off or something. And so he has just these big eyes. And after this, he's permanently scarred. And so one night, he decides to cut a smile on his face, kind of like Joker, in The Dark Knight. Because, and I shit you not, he's too lazy to smile. It just, he doesn't want to exert the energy of like, it's easier just to cut open your face. Because apparently that's not a lot of energy. It's harder to do this than to take a knife and just to cut yourself open. Obviously, But that's why he always looks like he's got a big face. He looks dumb. I don't understand why it's so popular. I mean, the picture's kind of creepy. Just got these big eyes and. It's his face, and if you go to an article, I included a link to it down below on dailydot.com, that weird site. There are a couple of interesting theories as to where the face originally came from, but there's also a video from a YouTuber called, whatever the hell he's called, but I've included it down below. It's from Scare Theater, and it's an interview, a reenactment of an interview, sort of, about the YouTuber's interview with the creator of Jeff the Killer, and he talks about all the stuff I just talked about, about what he liked and disliked and all that, and all the things he plans on doing, because there's supposedly now going to be a Jeff the Killer movie. Odd. I would have thought, something like Haldon 21 would have gotten, the movie treatment first. I mean, that's just a really crazy fucking story. I mean, it's almost like, it's as bad as, they get, but Jeff the Killer is I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it's lame, but it wasn't that scary. The picture was scary, I think the picture alone, is, the only way you can really accurately describe Jeff the Killer. None of these stories, or at least the popular one, I didn't like. The guy created it. The ghost game associated with it is pretty cool. But, his story was kind of dumb. The popular story was kind of dumb. I like the Chuck Norris one. You got to read that one. It was posted, I think, April 1st of this year. It was an April thing, but it's. I like that. That was a good one. Not exactly scary, but funny at the end. I just didn't like it. It was okay. I mean, I understand. It's just a urban legend, but it's definitely not real. Not real at all. He's a creepy character. With a deformed face with no eyelids, so he must, really use Visine a lot, should get stock in that company. The The popular pasta, though, doesn't do the picture justice, because the original picture, it's really creepy. It's, you could look at it and probably would, like, stick in your head. More than the story. Like I said, the story was just kind of, I didn't care for it. I'd hope for something better, because a lot of people, like, really like the story. And a lot of people think it's real. And, there's, like I said, there's rumors circulating that they're going to do a movie about it. Maybe it won't happen, because not everything gets made. And, this thing is so vague. I don't know if you check out the interview that this guy on Scary Theater did with Jeff the Killer creator. He's talking about how, they're going to make a movie, and he's got a legal team and all this. But I can't find much about this guy other than the name being Susur. Even the guy who interviewed him wasn't sure what his name was and whether or not he was pronouncing it right. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But apparently this guy has some kind of legal team. I don't know. But if they make a movie about it, I don't know. Maybe he'll make lots of money. Good for him. I ain't gonna knock him, because it's a real popular story. A lot of people like it. Then there must be something that I'm missing. I just didn't find it scary. I think the picture alone, though, is cool. It's a real nightmare fuel. It's like a bad shadow game. Fuck you. Yeah. Well, what do you want me to say? Your game did suck. But I think I think the story could have been better on both accounts. The popular pasta and the guy who did the backstory on the picture, who originally created it. It just, it wasn't my favorite one, and it's definitely not real. There was no Katy Robinson, and that alone could make its own video, I think. I thought about doing that, but I figured, no, I'll just do the whole Jeff the Killer thing. She's not real either. None of it's real. Movie deal could be real. We might find out soon enough. Shadow, what did you think of the story? It sucked. Yeah, it did kind of suck. And, I'm always looking to do other urban legends, so if you have any suggestions, you go in the section below and comment and, tell me about some urban legends that you disbelieve, or you do believe, and you'd like me to figure it out, or whatever. Just, comment below, and please spin dash that like and sub button, and my book, The Time Rippers Book 2, is now available on Amazon.com, as well as my other works. And my first Time Rippers book, you can get that for free on internetarchive.org. It's the greatest site in the world. So, Shadow, you ready to spin dash us out? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Kiba!